We're back with our second guest of the day, Emma McKee, aka Stitch Gawd. How's it going?
It's going good.
You braved the weather to be here.
I feel like I've risked life and limb to be with you.
Listen,
today.
I appreciate it from the depths of my soul.
For you, anything.
Emma is a cross stitcher and creative who's known for making bespoke pieces for some of your favorite artists and athletes, including Chance the Rapper, Zach Levine, Centrox, SZA, Brittany Griner, and more, which is insane.
It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, when I met you, you hadn't pivoted to sports.
No, I definitely hadn't. I was a wee baby.
Yeah, so cool. Before we get into our conversation, though, we're going to hear some music. This is Menace for Hire Care.
I guess it goes, I never know, but it's what they told me. This fight and wish, so I hope that I ain't the only hoping. Proud when no one cares, different lies, now I'm in the open. Yeah, I did this shit a good guy, learned to feel emotion. I lift the spell and now I feel the motion. If you could tell, my vision's clear now that I'm steering focus. Can't feel lost cause I still got a lot. Don't play with those, know that I gotta stop. My love gon' show roll like the Autobots. Racing through my mind, I highlight what was I supposed to do. Thought that it was you and me. Know this love we share is true. Hurts to heal and say goodbye. No, it's no forgetting you. Hope that you'll remember me, then wish it was the two of us. It sucks that no one cares.
Hey, do you care whether you live or die?
Heard Trinity Star Ultra, Visions from Another Realm. Okay, have you heard of them though?
What? This
The
Trinity Star Ultra?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually to prepare myself for this interview, I was like, I feel like she might ask me some questions about relevant Chicago music. And so I was like, do I know what's even happening in that space? Because for me, it's still like the same artist that I've always loved,
yeah.
Still making things and whatnot. And I went and looked, and surprisingly, I knew a lot of them. No, I don't know these.
Well,
folks,
they're kind of new, but they're like
okay.
They're like musicians who play with other. I honestly don't remember their names, like their actual names, but they're like playing bands for other people.
Okay, so they're like the scene's house band.
Yeah.
Okay, I rock
That's
with
like
that.
kind of has evolved. You know, like how Carter Lang and like
yes.
all those people, they all moved to LA, and now there's another era of the house band.
This is what everybody keeps telling me about, is this next era of like Chicago musicians, and I'm excited.
I mean, I think it's cool. I think they're doing a lot of cool stuff. I think like there's a lot more. I mean, I think there's a lot more like genre bending and blending, more like crossover than before.
Well, I also think that like the nature of the music industry and fame is just different than it has ever been before. And it just changes the trajectory of the musician and the artist that we get, frankly.
Yeah. And so also like, I think it's reflective of like music at large and how sound is evolving and stuff like that. And like Chicago, which is such a classically rap hip hop city, you know, is now reaching for other shit.
I was like, what are we gonna call it now? Like Chicago is what do you? I mean, we could talk about all this all day, but
honestly, when everyone was calling it the Renaissance or whatever,
yeah, it was like the Chicago Renaissance.
I kept being like, I hate it, y'all. You know how much I got shit on for that.
What, that you didn't like that?
No, I just didn't like that it was called that. I was like, it has to be another name.
We were very optimistic back then. We really like
oozing from your pores. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Renaissance.
But
big
honestly,
term.
right.
We were all with it.
Yeah. Except me.
Hater.
Listen,
Ooh.
you and everyone want to call me that.
No, I truly think that we've evolved in our journey as haters. I might be a bigger hater than you these days. Who knows?
I think not, but you could. we could go tit for tat, bar for bar.
No, I mean, I feel like having a hater is necessary. You know, we need to see the other side.
You need to have a curatorial eye.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
I love this.
Okay, so I looked at your website. Low-key, I think I wrote that bio.
You did write that bio.
Okay.
When you asked me for an updated bio, I was like, baby, the most updated bio was you.
I was like,
don't you know about me?
Can y'all tell we've known each other for like a decade?
Well, I feel like there's some very important context for this whole conversation that people should know.
The Chicago cross-stitch artist who's friends with all your favorite rappers. Is that a good place to start?
I just gave you such a perfect segue for your first question without even meaning to. Yes, I believe that you coined that in the Fader article as well.
Yes, it is in the Fader. Yeah.
So I often tell people ask me how I got the name Stitch Gawd, how all of this happened, how one becomes a famous cross-stitcher for rappers. Like, people ask me that all the time, of course. And I say, well, I got very lucky in the beginning that I had my first big piece of press was in a little magazine called The Fader. And the author of this interview dubbed me Stitch Gawd. And that was you.
Yes.
So, like, you gave me the double whammy, really, in, like, the blog era. You were like, okay, we're going to give you legitimacy from out of town via this magazine, The Fader, and then we're going to give you this insane nickname.
Did it? I feel like that was an in-person conversation.
It was,
okay.
yeah. We were
because I kind of remember it.
I know.
Okay, nice.
I know.
Simpler times. But it is really cool that you still have that on your.
Oh, I mean, it changed.
Your website.
It's what that
just
bio?
that quote. No, just the quote.
Oh,
you know,
yeah. I mean, like you blew up the best PR that's ever happened. I didn't even know at the time. No, you said amazing things about me. The way you write is so beautiful.
Oh,
just like
you.
Yeah, we have a lot to thank you for and appreciate you for. So.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, it's truth.
Well, so I met you. You were making pieces you're working a corporate job.
I was.
You're making pieces for your favorite artists.
Yes.
And I mean, you know, like your practice evolves, the times evolve, you know, your needs evolve, both as an artist, but as a person who needs to pay their bills.
Yes, ma'am.
So you've pivoted.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of that was working with like the Bulls and
I mean,
you know.
So basically, like, well, as you know, I started making these pieces for these artists in Chicago, and I was like teaching myself how to do it at the same time.
Yeah.
So I was bartering everything. I was trading everything.
And that was your thing.
That was my whole thing and I still believe this, that money changes the entire conversation and the money changes power. I mean, look at the reality we're living in. This goofy South African nitwit bought the White House.
He's literally chilling in the fucking Oval Office
on ketamine. Anyway, so I totally lost, but it just like made me angry, and I lost my chain of thought. What was
just like, you know, you're pivoting to.
Oh yeah, no, so I was doing barters. I had this crazy corporate ticketing job. So I was working at Groupon, which is wild. And I was doing I was like a liaison between all these big promoters and like Live Nation and the big sports leagues and things like that, and I was just making a ton of like too much money for someone in their 20s, and so I just put everything towards my art practice, and so I didn't need to make money off of anything, so I just traded with people, which it kept the art really pure. I learned how to do all this stuff, and it was years that I did that. But obviously, and I wish that I could do that forever. And I think that in some way I will always, that will be a part of my practice. Like, I still do my personal jackets for trade, just on, a much smaller scale, because obviously I have
it was a time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a time. Like, that was a magical time in music, in Chicago culture. Thinking back on it, it feels like a movie montage even now. It's kind of crazy. And to see where that period in time took all of these creatives in Chicago, you know, beyond chance, he activated a whole bunch of us in the circle around him, and I, you know, and now we're in these creative jobs and these positions, you know, it's just really cool. But yeah, so All Star came to Chicago, and
2019,
right before the pandemic, and everybody was doing All Star stuff, and I was pressed. like everybody, like all
of Chicago was pressed. It was like a collective
we
feeling.
were collectively no, but like it felt to me like everybody was doing stuff around All Star,
but also pressed. Please, please, doing stuff, but also pressed.
Yeah,
pressed to be doing stuff even in the midst of
Chicago way. But I was pressed, so I wrote an email to the one person I knew at the Bulls, and I was like, listen. I really think I could do this. I mean, I wrote a list. It was like 10 things. I could do this for the Chicago Bulls. And I got a phone call from him, and he was like, well, we don't want any of those things.
Oh,
but
fuck.
could you do could you make a jacket for Zach LaVine? And I was like, and I was my first reaction, because I'm a freak show. I was like, they didn't like any of my ideas. And I was like,
that's ego.
No, I know it is. It's ego. You're exactly right. Art.
We don't operate that way anymore because we just need the money, baby.
Well, no, it's not even that. I just like I wasn't used to corporate situations where anybody would tell me to do anything. Like it's like with
it's
my
like having a
craft,
say over your practice.
1000%. And up to that point, it'd just be me doing
whatever the fuck you want.
Fuck I wanted, when I wanted, going wherever I wanted, like whatever. And so I'm like, I'm untamed and hard to govern. And but yeah, I mean, they were like, will you do a jacket for Zach LaVine? And it was like the best project ever. Like, like little me dream stuff, like the whole experience. Yeah. So I did that jacket for Zach LaVine, then the pandemic hit. So I was actually like the last thing filmed in the United Center and then the first thing back when they opened the building. But that Zach LaVine jacket came with a lot of legitimacy, you know, like the Bulls. I mean, the team right now sucks, but it's iconic branding. You go anywhere in the world and you see Yankees and Bulls.
I was in India a year and a half ago and I saw somebody wearing a Bulls jersey.
I was in my parents' 20,000 person town in the southeast of England, and I saw a person in a full Zach LaVine like starter warm-ups, and I was like,
that's crazy.
What? Crazy. Like,
they were
crazy.
Like, did y'all know this is God's
No, but like, so
she's standing right next to you.
So like that, you know, that kind of project gives you a lot of legitimacy. The Bulls are, that's classic American, you know, if they let you mess around with that branding, it's a good time.
Yeah.
And lots of people followed like after that. Then it all shifted. Then it was like, oh, okay, Bulls, WNBA, Complex, Jordan Brand, Wilson, like you name it. Gatorade.
And you were doing jackets.
I mean,
primarily.
The thing is like not even.
Okay.
I was doing some jackets, but people were just asking me for shit, like things they had never seen me do, and
like
I was
banners and like.
I made a backpack for Paige Beckers, and they were like, "Could you make a backpack?" And I was like,
"But that means
sure.
Are you like crocheting the whole bag or like cross stitching the whole bag?"
No. I mean, I'm just kind of like I kind of make it up as I go. Honestly. Okay. For the Paige Beckers one, that was a Gatorade project, and I upcycled. Like I went to all the Goodwill stores in Chicago and bought all the black denim I could find, and I upcycled this, this piece. It had a lightning bolt on it. The inside was fluorescent and quilted, supposed to be like the drink itself. It's like it's how I create all the things. It's the same. I research. I apply the same like kind of methodology to all my projects that aren't jackets. But I would say honestly, like,
what's the methodology?
I mean, the methodology is like letting the research influence the design process, letting like the story tell itself through my design. It's really weird because it feels like I'm not. It's interesting. Like the ideas just kind of like pop in my head and live there as long as I do the research and inform myself. Like the design ideas just.
It's already there.
Yeah, it's literally already there.
That's how I feel. That's how I get it. It's already there. You just have to like. It's activate like putting pen to page. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I literally was talking to Don C about this last night. This like doing this exact thing, and it's. Yeah, and so I just found that I can apply that to all these other things. And honestly, I'm the kind of person that if someone comes to me, I mean, if someone came to me and was like, could you do a 20-foot cross stitch of Magic Johnson? And I was like, yeah. Did I know how I was going to do that? Absolutely not. Was I absolutely sure that I could? 1000%.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of approach all the projects.
I think that comes with like maturity and knowing yourself and knowing your practice, because in your 20s and you're an artist and you're trying to do stuff and you don't know what you can do. No. But once you get older, I feel like you can take on projects even if you've never done them before because you're sure of yourself.
I don't know. I think it might be the opposite. I think it might have just been like blind optimism, and the older I get, the more I understand about life, and the more I'm just like,
but that's what I'm saying. It's maturity.
Yeah, no,
it's
it
like,
is.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's like, it's knowing what I can and cannot do. I charged into this whole enterprise when I was literally, I had never picked up a needle before the age of 27.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that because it didn't occur to me that that it would have like a bad, you know what I mean? I was able to dream enormous because I had no sense of like parameter.
Well, you're at the age where you take risks.
1000%.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I did in my 20s, because it has forced me to keep marching along.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, I think that story is so cool that, you grew up, your mother was, or your family, or the women in your family, it's like a very matriarchal, traditional sort of practice, and then 1000%. You made it your own.
Yeah.
My
family's still like, what are you doing? And like, I feel like a lot of people are like, what does she do? What's a cross stitch? You knit, right? And I'm like, you crochet, right? Like, could you hem this shirt for me? People still have no idea what I do. It's wild. But also I don't take that personally. It's just like,
well, all of those, it's like different materials, different needles, different way you actually do it, different. I mean, you have like an actual pattern that you're.
Yes. Yeah. It'd be like asking a quarterback to play D-line. Different skills. Yeah. I hope that resonates.
No,
with
it
y'all.
does.
I can't believe I used a football analogy.
Yeah, I know.
I basketball one.
That's why I was laughing.
I fucking hate the NFL. Deeply. Deeply hate them. Sorry.
No.
So opinionated.
I mean, that's why. Yeah, that's why I fuck with you though.
Thank you.
You say that shit.
It gets hard.
Say it on business.
It gets harder to say it with your chest the older you get, and like the bigger you get too. It gets harder to say it with your chest.
Yeah.
And the ramifications are a lot more complicated.
Girl.
But like, you got to stand on business. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
If you're not.
Yeah, you have to be sure of who you are, and you have to say that shit.
That part.
So you're working on more large scale projects. Yes. Are you still working? So actually, you just posted something about Zach LaVine.
That was an old project. That's just because he got traded.
Oh, he was on the Bulls for that long?
Yeah. Shit. It was like, he was a franchise player. He was there for 8 years, I think.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, and they traded him away for a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who you're referring to.
A lot of nothing.
Okay, got you.
Their biggest asset. For nothing. Seems like really good business, but I digress.
Yeah. Now, I just really, it's been interesting to see how your materials and like not only your practice develops and who you're working with, but the materials you're working with, and you've been doing a lot of like ice dye experimentation.
I mean, I'm just like, I am obsessed with growth and change and making my practice bigger and better. The ice dye stuff is so funny. Like, I don't really have hobbies or personal projects really, because like my whole life is my work, and like that's not the healthiest thing, but it is the reality. I don't think that's true.
You like working out, you like meditating.
But all that stuff is in service of keeping the instrument, which is me, in like the best condition I can be in.
Okay.
Absolutely. I want to be able to make stuff until I'm, a husk. And like, to be able to do that, I need to have mobile wrists. Like, you know what I mean? I need to have mental clarity and peace of mind, which comes along with those practices.
Yeah.
So like I have been dyeing all of my own stuff this entire time for like a decade. So like all the jackets that you see that aren't just like denim, that's me. I've been dyeing stuff forever. And it's like the funniest thing. It always gets the most attention. People love following along with it. And it's just funny to me that I'm getting all this attention I'm essentially upcycling my own clothes.
Yeah.
Because, I teach these days, and a lot of my teaching is around sustainability in fashion. And so,
that's so cool.
Well, I mean, it is the way, it's the way forward. It's the future. I mean, the average American throws away 90 pounds of fabric a year. It's not sustainable. We've made enough clothing to clothe the next 6 generations of people on Earth right now.
Jesus.
Yeah, we are fabrics are the second biggest polluter on Earth. Like, the emissions put out by the clothing industry are bigger than the entirety of Europe in a year. Like, it's really right. So it's like, it's stuff that I'm teaching these kids about. It's stuff that we're talking about a lot. And so now it like is resonating, especially with me. Because I have to, as you said, stand on business. And so I try to get longer wear out of my clothing. And part of that is ice dyeing is an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like fucking around and having fun, and then like RIT comes and finds me, RIT Dye.
Shit.
Yeah, they're a Chicago company apparently, which I didn't. look at this, shout out Rit Dye.
Yeah.
They, you know, all these people started to find me and ask me to do stuff for them and send me product and stuff. And I'm like, y'all are funny. I have been doing this for 10 years, but like, whatever.
Yeah. I think it's like all of like the tutorials and all the stuff that's like, you know, become popular on Instagram, on
socials
TikTok.
And things. And I feel like my inability to do it really, or like unwillingness to do it, which is the truth, because like being an artist is
there's an air of mystery.
Well, no, I mean, Chris Classic said the other day you have to be an artistpreneur, which I think is
I hate
no,
that.
but is there a lie in
no,
that?
you're
like,
not lying.
No, I know.
Just as a writer, that word really is irksome.
Awful, right? It's like when you're calling art content, it's the same kind of hideous thing.
Yeah.
But it is the reality that we live in.
Yeah.
And I think if I were more on top of my socials, I mean, I like.
Just get your assistant to do it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just
hand her a tripod.
For me, but like my business is in the real world.
Yeah. Like
the real world is so much doper than the internet. And like,
yes.
And and my real world connection is really important to me. And like, so first of all, I don't need people to see that much of me. I feel like I connect with my peoples. Like I talk to my camera. I let people into my life.
Yes,
I show people. Yeah, I really do. And I've always been that way, which is why I think I got like early blue check, early big following, is because I've always been that way with my people. I'm always going to be authentic, but like, I don't want to dance for y'all.
Yeah.
Like I'll show you my portfolio. I'll show you the process. We'll go to basketball games together. I'll talk to you about politics. We're going to get into some Shirley Temple's youth mentorship, all that good stuff. But like, I don't need.
That's like you in a nutshell.
No, it really is.
Yeah.
And so I know people get mad at me for being so hesitant about like the TikToks and the reels and the tutorials and stuff. But like, I really am doing what I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I try to share myself as authentically as possible.
No, I think you do a good job.
Thank you. That's nice. It's hard to be an artist in like the the decline of Western civilization. You know.
Nosedive. I don't know. I think content is so corny, but I do it and I make it fun for me.
Yeah.
And that's like, and I do very intentional, like everything I do is very intentional. So that's like the only way, to me, it feels like I'm kind of taking on this behemoth of bullshit that the world has created, but I'm doing it my own way.
And you're also figuring out the way to cut through that.
Well, I hope so.
Well, no, but like you almost have to do it to cut through it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
you have to figure out what works,
right?
For you.
I keep like trying. I have little fits and starts, and I get into a little bit. But yeah, I just I'm so happy that you figured out a way to make it work. We're gonna, what is it, like co-conspire on a reel or something? What's it called?
Collab.
Oh
my God. I like co-conspire. Can we petition them to change it?
No, that feels like what it is, right?
Yeah, but
get these numbers. Co-conspire to get these numbers.
Hey, listen. Help me, help you, help me, help you, help me.
I'm with
or
it.
Whatever.
I'm with it. I'm super with it.
We're taking another music break. This is Shawnee Dez Rinky.
Too long, cause I be meaning what I say. Swear I'm humble in real life, just got my ego on display. The angel showing me the path, but I see demons in the way. I ain't really worried about it, even demons make mistakes. Got me breaking down the ganja when I know I need a break. Burning trees in the woods if the city got no lake. If I wrote it, I don't need another take. Stressing about the bread, man, how long this finna take? Call up Nostra Frank, gang, what we finna make? Put the logo on a jacket, I'ma flex it in they face. I don't care if someone jacket, I'm just keeping up the pace. Man, that jacket just an item, bro. Your life can't be replaced. See what I mean, brother? The money ain't the only thing that's gonna be green, brother. Unchecked emotions get you caught up in a scene, brother. Just trying to say people ain't always who they seem, brother. There ain't no point in losing pointers in a ring, brother. They selling dope, they selling hope, they selling dreams, brother. They fiends, brother, Kicking a door on ass for no keys, brother.
We just heard Ray Ray and AR, Law of Mistakes. Okay, so on the subject of standing on business.
Okay, I like this.
That's our theme.
No, that is the theme of this podcast, standing on business.
Radio show.
I needed it, you needed it, we all needed it.
Radio show.
Yes.
Not podcast.
Damn.
That's actually our motto, not a podcast. Winky face.
Winky
Sideways
face.
winky face. We're throwing it back.
That's in the logo?
That's our motto.
Our motto.
Of Kismet Radio, not a
Sideways winky
podcast.
face.
Yeah, there you go. So you're making a Tatriz jacket for Bella Hadid.
Yes.
I feel like you've been posting a lot about Tatriz even before that came up.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about? Yes, I know.
my God.
I knew you would want to talk about it.
I would be delighted.
Yes.
So Chicago has the largest population of Palestinian people in the U.S. I think it's like 90,000 people in Cook County, 90,000 Palestinians, and so I have Palestinian friends. I have for years, and there's this funny connection between cross stitch and Palestine. Is that the traditional like folk art of Palestine called Tatriz is cross stitch. So I've been getting gifts of cross stitch from people's like grannies and their
That's
aunts.
awesome.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, especially if you know how long this stuff takes to be given a gift of something like that. That is months of somebody's life that they're just. So I
and it's like history.
No, it's a history. Yeah. It is like time is the only currency that we can't buy or get back. And so for someone just to like do something like that, I mean, it's kind of ironic, right? I was just going around handing out cross stitches, and then I get cross stitches handed to me, and it's just like, wow,
give and take,
right?
Yeah.
So I've been getting these gifts of Palestinian cross stitch for years, and so I've always kind of,
for years,
yeah,
okay.
way before any of this. I mean, the shit has been popping off, but for decades before we were born. But before this most recent pop off, I have been getting that stuff forever. So, I mean, Wissam, heard everybody's old manager. I have Palestinian prayer beads that he brought me back years ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just like it's around, and so I have always thought as an artist that it is important to, as you say, stand on business, and so with all of this like horror that we are perpetrating upon our Middle Eastern brothers and sisters, I thought it would be important to surface this artistry. When we displace people, when there's genocide, we lose everything, the culture, libraries, histories, all of this rubble, all of this needlepoint, all of this work lost. And so it felt important to thematically like bring this through in pieces that I'm working on. So the first Tatriz piece I did was for a show, a group show, You Are Beautiful. You've probably seen it all over Chicago. So I did the You Are Beautiful in, I used different Tatriz motifs to do the signage. The only piece that wasn't advertised online for the entire group show, just to LOL.
Yeah.
Unsurprising.
Yeah.
And then this piece I just did for Bella Hadid, what was so interesting about this is Tatriz is regional. So like, it would be like if everybody in America stitched, Chicago would have a motif that was our stitch. You know what I mean? That's what they have. So the Tatriz are you can tell where they're from based on what they are. So what I wanted to do for Bella was find Tatriz from where her people were from. So I found out where her people were from. They're from Nazareth in Galilee. I thought Galilee was like, I'm a preacher's kid, so we grew up with all this stuff. I thought Galilee was its own town. No, it's a state. Yeah, so Nazareth is in Lower Galilee, and that's where the Hadids are from. And I was having a horrible time finding anything from there because it's Israel, occupied. And when you displace people, their art goes with them. And so finding Tatriz from occupied Palestine is difficult. So I reached out to the Tetris scholar from the Metropolitan in New York. She does lots of research on Tetris. She saves garments, all these things. And she was like, you're having a horrible time finding it because XYZ, they don't do this up there, they do this different. But I think if you're able to look at something and copy the design, there are some pictures in the British Museum archives. LOL, how'd those get there, I wonder. There are some pictures in the British Museum archives that are from that area, if you can find them. And so I did. And so I stitched this.
Did
Tetris.
you go there?
No, I mean,
you just did it online.
I went on to the
I mean,
online archive.
your family's
No,
British,
I know.
so
I mean,
it's not far-fetched.
I could have gone in person, surely, a couple months later. But no, you have to like request this stuff, and so I found it. I copied this motif, and so I've made this jacket for Bella Hadid that ostensibly, in theory, has stitching from where her people are from in Palestine, and so it's like. I feel like because the problem is enormous, we don't often know how to first approach standing up to something like that or voicing how we feel about that or, and I think in America it's especially hard to have any opinions on that conflict without getting yourself in a lot of trouble.
Penalized, yeah.
Yep. And so... I mean, I want it to be okay for other people to talk about it and not be scared to talk about it. And so I feel like doing a project in my lane, the thing that I'm known for, which is making jackets for famous people, like I'll make a jacket for a famous Palestinian. Like it's in line with my thing. I think it's a good place for anybody to start. How can I take what I do? How can I take my life and infuse this meaning in it or support this thing or, manifest my beliefs towards action?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I hope anybody gets from it, because like that may seem kind of arbitrary, right? To make like a jacket for a celebrity, but like, I don't know.
I mean, I think it's cool that you as a white person and who is also an artist is using your platform to, vocalize or and I mean like the people who are paying attention to you are probably different than the people who are paying attention to me, and also like as a brown person, like I appreciate how vocal you are, like I think that's really cool and that like more people could lead by your example.
I mean, that's nice that you think it's cool. I honestly think it's like the bare minimum,
but like
no,
people give way less than that or nothing.
I know that,
so
but I know they do, but like as white people in America, like come on.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, no,
but we've just after the second,
there's a lot of privilege that's not checked, and you check yours. And
I mean, I have tried the whole time. I'm like, if I'm operating if I'm operating the way that I'm operating, if I'm in the spaces I'm in, if I'm talking about the stuff I'm talking about, then
that awareness that you have is like so appreciated. Well,
that's nice of you to say.
Yeah.
But
and I know I'm not the only one who feels that way.
That's really nice.
So.
But I just would like for all white people to just do like better.
Yeah,
like all of them.
Yeah.
We had to have like all my family members are probably fucking sick of me.
Girl, honestly, same. So
I mean,
and we're brown, so
Yeah, no, it's funny having like
I've been on my soapbox for my entire life.
More or less same. I mean, Chicago just refined my voice a lot.
Oh yeah.
It'll teach you a lot of things. But yeah, being half British and having white South African family, very yeah.
I don't think I need the latter.
Yeah, I got like the colonizer fucking trifecta over here. I know. So it's especially important that I try to check myself and do that. I texted my South African, we're all in a group chat, and I was like, hey, South Africans, could you please fucking take Elon back? And they're like, no returns.
You said no, they said no return.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
They said they had a no return policy.
God. And I know you just posted about old boy who was at the Super Bowl with the Sudanese and Palestinian flag.
Wasn't that cool? I so much to unpack in the Kendrick performance. I mean, he's a brilliant Pulitzer Prize winning poet for a reason. But also like that shit wasn't revolutionary.
No, but
I mean, that's
it's
okay.
like contextual. I mean, it's like
no, it's
to be on that stage at the NFL and to do that, and for them to let him but in the way of like it being existing in the world is not in a broader context is not revolutionary.
No. So yeah, and I think there's a lot of nuance to it, but I think there's a real danger in us as Americans attaching ourselves to the idea of thumbing our nose at oppression to be a fix, because it's not.
Yeah.
Like maybe if there was like a call to act, there was action in that performance by that young man bringing the Palestinian flag onto the top of the car.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like, and I love Kendrick, but
I love Kendrick so I just need to make that very clear because I don't want people to be like, this bitch doesn't know shit. Yeah, Kendrick's a genius.
About to clip this up and go viral for being haters. Anyway, I just think that it's all performative.
The Rock Nation partnership with the NFL is performative.
Oh yeah,
I mean, back of Black Lives Matter, like that's the only reason.
Right, like fucking Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee for a year, and now he's fucking blacklisted. You know,
he took a knee and he has never played in the NFL.
Yeah,
again.
Fucking nuts. And then Rock Nation's just gonna come and like what? Now everything's different. No,
it's like yes, revolutionary aesthetics.
It's revolution light.
It's not even, it doesn't, revolutionary aesthetics are not the revolution. No, shouting out the revolution is not the revolution.
That's why it's performative. It's a gesture.
It is. We need the beautiful art. We need that art. I think that America needs that art. I think Americans, we need to be more critical and like less married to the idea that it is only one thing, right? Yeah. We can contain multitudes.
Yeah.
And we have to get better at that. Because you just have, people shut down completely when you say a thing they don't agree with. And it's like, we have to be able to, critically think and talk to one another and understand that just because it is one thing does not mean it is also not another. Just because it is not revolutionary does not mean that it is not amazing and important.
Yeah. It's just kind of funny because I feel like Kendrick has been on this campaign to, like a campaign of depth, a campaign of like, I'm a person of multitudes.
But he also keeps telling us that he's not our savior, and he isn't.
Yeah.
Like, we had a whole stadium. I mean, we're like, yay, everybody's saying A minor, so we're all screaming about pedophilia and not, like, looking into it. Like, we're going to scream about pedophilia at our parties.
Yo, that shit went hard. That shit was hard, though.
It goes so hard.
No, I know you agree with me, but the chain
shit.
But like genius. the double meaning with the chain, yes. That was literally
But like,
levels.
What does it say about the American people that we'd rather shout about pedophilia at our fucking parties than, look into it? Are people checking what? People looking into the Drake shit? Like, we're all just, he's a pedophile. Is anyone looking into it? I don't know.
True. We're just saying it.
We're just saying it at our parties.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, I also have to say, I love all of it. Like, I have loved the rap beat.
Take me away from this world.
Yeah.
But also,
and it is fun and it's a good time, but I don't think we should conflate that with revolution.
Oh, no. People just love to say shit though.
Yes. I mean, yeah, we talking shit right now.
Yeah.
People love to talk. That's what I've been told that before. They're like, Emma, you talk shit.
You live in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's necessary, but
and you're also like from the Midwest, like.
Yeah. So like all that,
it's a human condition to talk shit.
All that to say, I think that Kendrick's performance and the reaction to it is a microcosm of everything that's happening in America and why we're in the position that we're in.
Whoo, yeah.
Agreed?
Yeah,
I agree. Also like beautiful. It's like
two things can be true.
Two things can be true.
Yeah, I try to remind myself.
If that's
of that.
The one takeaway from this, I feel like
that's the one takeaway from my life.
Stand on business, and two things can be true.
I always have to remind myself of that because shit be fucked up, but also fun.
Well, no, that's like when people ask like, "How are you?" I'm like, "In my body, I'm fine."
Yeah, in this world,
what is happening?
Yeah, simulation as fuck.
We can contain multitudes.
Yeah.
But I'm blessed to be here with you and to wake up today,
Period. So you're also doing youth programming.
Yes.
And you've been doing that for a while.
A long time. But like, I feel like I'm like legitimate in it now, which is so fun.
How is that different that you feel legitimate?
No, I mean, I think legitimacy comes after like years of doing it. And then also like buy-in from people. Like I did, I did a 10-week program with the Chicago Bulls and Don C and Kenwood, and they just let me run that shit.
That's fire.
And it was like the best time ever. And so, yeah, buy-in like that gives me legitimacy again. Thank you, Chicago Bulls. And so that means that people know that's like a part of my thing now.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I propose wanting to do something or an idea, like me and Des from Chicago Girls did a workshop yesterday at a Simpson Academy for Girls.
Oh, nice.
Which is a CPS school that serves about 35 pregnant and new mothers. It's the only school of its kind in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went in there and we proposed programming to them, like a design lab where we do a collab thing with the girls there. And it was something new, but because, you know, like we both have history with working with youth, they were like, oh, we've never done this before, but, you know, there's some trust there. And that's really amazing. I feel like it's really important when I said this a lot, but I feel like artists really have a responsibility to their community.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the biggest ROI, or return on investment, is working with youth.
Yeah.
Because it really doesn't take a whole lot for them to feel encouraged to do something, to, you know, that's when you're building self-esteem. That's when you're becoming the person you're going to be. And to have someone believe in you a little bit, or like give you a skill you didn't know you could do, that's instill some awareness. That's like a big deal.
Yeah.
And until I have more like structural or infrastructure to do, like, eventually I'd love to do things like Joe Fresh Goods does with his community goods. I'd love to be able to do programming on that scale. But until I get to something like that, I will give, you know, the shorties my time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I do a lot of mentorship and workshops and stuff. And this sounds so corny, but like, honestly, it's like the best thing. I can go in there. Like,
it's really fulfilling. I already know.
So
it's really
fulfilling. I go in there with just like the screwiest face ever. Just like, ugh. Yeah. And then I come out and I'm like, oh no, this is great.
Like the optimism, the youthfulness, the hunger, the desire, like, you know, like that's even how I just felt talking to Larry. Like, it's just so nice to hear people who are actually excited.
Well, that's the thing. And I almost always have kids who like know who I am, have some idea of who I am, and are excited about it. Like, they want to be there. It's like driving a Ferrari, having a bunch of like, you know, young people who are excited about doing something and want to learn from you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's up. It's like the best teaching experience that you could have.
Yeah. I mean, I don't teach anymore, but I started out my time here teaching, and I actually just ran into one of my students.
Isn't that wild?
And it's been like 10 years, and that's how I met Anna, because they were together, and Soul, shout out Soul, but she was like, you changed my life, and I was like, you changed my life, and it was just really cool, and like, it's so cool to like see them when they're young, and then see where they go, you know, and like, even just having like the smallest, you know, I have a couple other students who are like doing cool shit, and it's just like to see them in this world and be adults and like, you know, be creatives and like whatever is just really, there's like not a lot of things that satisfy you in that way.
No, there's not. Yeah. And doesn't it just make you feel ancient?
No.
I see my first mentees and I'm like, oh my God, y'all are adults.
I mean, I was a baby when I met them though, you know, like I was like 26. So, you know, it's been like,
I'm always sneaky older than all y'all, though. I just got good skin.
You're not that much older.
A little bit
older. Here's some more music.
Woke up this morning with your scent still on my pillow. The question in my head, where you've gone and why you've left. I thought that I was healing, but you stopped me in my tracks. Your soft touch got me reeling, tracing shapes all on my back. Oh, I'm stuck singing your melody. Oh, you got me like high. Oh, you got me like high. You got me like high. You got me like.
We just heard MEH. Meh?
Meh.
Yeah. Either way.
Meh, contact us. Let
us
know how you say it.
Not contact us. Okay. You got me like. And thank you to Emma for joining me today. And thank you to everyone for tuning in to Something Slight on Kismet Radio. You can follow me on Instagram at Young Noodle Cup. That's YUNG Noodle Cup. And where can people find you?
At The Stitch Gawd, GAWD.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad you continue to spell it that way. The only way.
The only way.
Yeah. Also, we recently launched the Kismet Coffee Club, where I feature a coffee shop, coffee brand quarterly. First up is Home Court Collective, operating out of Hyde Park's Miyagi Records. And we have a special collaborative drink called the Kismet Dirty Shy. So pull up Thursday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. to try our drink and say what's good to the owners, Alex and Melissa. This episode was produced in partnership with our friends at Red Bull. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.